そうですね、はい、体調というか、それなりの体調ではマウンドには行くことができたので、はい。
Yes, I was able to get on the mound in pretty good condition.
About 6 rows back in the right center, Fabian.
Yeah, Shohei, why do you think you guys as an offense maybe haven't quite been able to click in October quite like you were able to during the regular season?
10月、打線がなかなか打てない中、何か理由はありますかと。
というか、ポストシーズンはもちろん対戦するピッチャー、素晴らしいピッチャーばかりですし、そのチームの中でも、いいチームの中でもいい投手たちがもちろん投げてはくるので、なかなか数字上は差が出やすいというか、そういうことはあるかなとは思いますけど、その中でみんながチームの方針としてやるべきことをしっかりできれば、最低限のヒットの中で得点できるんじゃないかなと思ってます。
We're facing quality arms this time of the year against really good teams, and we're facing the top of the best of the best. So I think it's not that easy, but at the same time, we could do at least the bare minimum, and to be able to put up some runs.
2 rows behind the last, Bill.
I know last night was a weird game because of all the intentional walks, but generally, what are the differences that you find in how teams pitch you when the guys ahead of you get on base as opposed to tonight when they don't get on base?
敬遠も昨日ありましたけども、その走者がいる中いない中での相手のピッチャーの攻め方っていうのはちょっと違うと思うんですけど、何か感じたりしてましたか？
それはポストシーズンに限らず、ランナーがいる場面いない場面、どこにランナーがいるかによっても多少変わってはくるのかなと思いますけど、基本的にはシーズン中から何回も言ってますけど、ストライクを振る、ボールを見逃すっていう、シンプルにそれさえできればどんな球が来てもストライクを打つことはできるので、どんな試合でもやることは基本的には変わらないかなと思ってます。
Regardless of postseason and regular season, I think when there's guys on base versus not on base, you're just going to see just different ways of being attacked. But my approach is pretty simple. I swing at strikes and don't swing at balls. And that's how I evaluate myself.
Standing against the left wall, Joel.
When your team uses as many pitchers in as long a game as last night, does the start today feel any different for how much length you feel you have to give and quality you have to give?
特に昨日の試合の中で中継ぎ使われている中、今日はちょっと長いイニング投げないといけないっていうのは感じてました。
それはもちろんそうですね。それはレギュラーシーズンでもそうです。ポストシーズンで昨日みたいに、なかなかあれぐらい長い試合ってのはないと思いますけど、スターティングピッチャーとしては、最低でも6回、今日はもちろん7回まで投げ切れれば一番良かったですけど、そこができなかったのが悔やまれるところかなと思います。
Yes, I did. Whether that's during the regular season or the postseason, my goal is to be able to pitch 6 innings, and in this situation, this game, I wanted to go 7. And it was regrettable that I wasn't able to finish that inning.
Do 2 more in English. Dave on your left.
Shohei, while you've been a pitcher and hitter many times before, you've never done it in this type of high-intensity 24-hour span that you had with the long game in the previous night. Was it more challenging than you thought, body-wise, coming back? Was it different than you thought it might be, and how challenging maybe was that for you today?
二刀流の経験してましたけども、今回のシチュエーションで延長戦もあって結構きつい経験でしたか？
そうです。経験という意味では素晴らしい経験ができたかなとは思ってますけど、もちろん今日勝てなかったことに対しても反省、時間どこになるか分かんないですけど反省点が必要かなとは思いますし、ウィールもね、昨日18回キャッチャーとして最後まで出てるのも素晴らしいですし、全員が素晴らしいゲームを昨日やって、今日はね負けてしまいましたけど、いいことも悪いことも切り替えて明日の1試合にまずは集中したいなと思ってます。
Although we did lose the game, I thought I had a productive experience being able to experience this situation. I mean, looking at guys like even Will Smith, who caught every single inning out of that 18 inning, I think it was really impressive to see. So we just have to turn the page and focus on the next game.
We'll finish up in English in the first row here on your right.
From his view, what went wrong on the sweeper on the home run pitch to Guerrero? And then turning around, what made it as a batter so difficult facing Bieber for him today?
スイーパーの秋
やっぱりスポットが良くなかったなっていう明らかな失投ではあるので、まあ、悔やまれる一球だったなっていうのは、まあ、結果論からするとその通りかなと思ってます。
Obviously, looking back in hindsight, it was just a regrettable pitch, something that I wish I could have taken back. It was just a bad spot, bad location.
Go to Japanese.
あとキーパーのことに関しては。
いや、素晴らしかったですね。もちろんポストシーズンの中で投げてるスポットも良かったですし、まあ、端っこのねこうストライクゾーンの周りのピッチングっていうのが素晴らしかったんじゃないかなと思ってます。
Yeah, Bieber pitched really well. He attacked, really at the edge and was able to execute location-wise.
Take a few questions Japanese. The third row on your right, Shohei.
お願いします。昨日あれだけの試合をやって今日、どれだけ疲労があった中でこう試合に入ったかっていうのと、投手としては、今日第4戦投げましたけども、万が一この後競った場合には投手としての準備を進めていくかどうかっていうのを教えてください。
そうです。昨日はしっかりケアして、はい、それなりにこう試合の後に、時間も取ってちゃんとケアをして入れたので、さっきも言いましたけどなかなかあれだけ長い試合をやった後に先発っていうのはあることではないですけど、その中でも今日こうやっていい状態で試合に臨めたのも、昨日ねいろいろサポートしてくれた人たちのおかげかなと思ってます。
あとこれから投手の調整というのは、
そうですね、投げる可能性としては、どこぐらいまで持てるかによるとは思いますけど、もちろん全試合必要であれば準備したいですし、昨日みたいにねこう延長戦に入ってなかなか決まらない試合もあると思うので、いつでもいけるようには準備したいなと思ってます。
Go to the third row on your left, Shohei.
お疲れ様です。今日グラブサイドにこう引っ掛けるようなフォーシームが多くて、この時っていうのは通常気持ちと体の動きが若干ずれている時にそういう話、そういうことがあるという話を昔されたんですけども、今日、さっきから何か出てますけども、昨日、18回9出塁、そこの部分と体の動き、それから疲労も含めて、で最後の失投、グレーロの失投も含めて、その辺のバランスはいかがでしたか、今日は。
昨日の試合がどうのこうのっていうのは特に言うつもりはないですけど、単純になんですかね、自分の動き、技術的な動きの部分がブルペンの時から良くなかったので、もちろんそういう試合は数多くありますし、そういう時にどうするかという話なので、その中でも6回まではある程度いい粘れる状態では投げてはこれたので、やっぱり7回の2人が先頭も含めてそこがやっぱり一番悔やまれるところかなと思ってます。
We'll stay in the same row, Shohei, to your left.
お願いします。昨日の延長11回の時に足を伸ばす仕草があって痙攣したというふうに聞いているんですけれども、その足の状態と今日への影響、今日はとても暑くて水分補給とかもたくさんされてたと思うんですけど、その今日の登板への影響とか、再発しないような対策とかそういうのも含めてお願いします。
そうですね、脱水症状気味ではあったので、睡眠時間もあまり取れないというか短い中で、少しまたするんじゃないかなという不安はありましたけど、幸いにも最後までそういうことはなかったので、はい、良かったんじゃないかなと思います。
Two rows behind the last one, Shohei.
第4戦の先発が決まって、第4戦の先発が決まってワールドシリーズの先発1回だけってなった瞬間にワールドシリーズの最後の優勝する瞬間にマウンドに立ってるイメージっていうのはどれくらいありましたか？今までしてましたか？
その最後の優勝ということですか？はい、
最後のマウンドに立ってるイメージみたいなのってしたことはあったりしますか？
そうですね、基本的にそれはクローザーの仕事ではあるので、今はねもちろん朗希が務めてますし、そこまでまずみんながつなげていけるのがベストなシナリオじゃないかなと思うので、特に第何戦に投げるとかっていうことではなく、自分が与えられたその試合の先発の中で、自分がしっかりと仕事をできれば、最後は誰がマウンドに立っててもそこは関係ないのかなと思ってます。
All right, we got to call it short because of timing, but thank you guys so much for your time. Appreciate it. right, we'll get started with Doc, who has the first question. We'll start with Jim right up front. The microphone's right there, Jim. Yeah, the microphone's right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Skipper, you're always talking about learning in every experience in every game. What did you learn from your experience so far in this particular series?
I think that we knew it was going to be a great series. This team is talented. They're resilient. Talking about the Blue Jays, and they came back fighting. Caught an early lead, and Bieber, does what he does and used the cutter, spun us, minimized damage, limited traffic, and we really didn't get a whole lot of good swings. And conversely, you see these guys, grinding and using the whole field and putting some hits together. And obviously, the homer by Vlad and that seventh inning, they built an inning right there, and we just didn't have an answer. So I think the takeaway is we saw Yusevich not too long ago, and so that's certainly information that we're going to use and expect Blake Snell to be better than he was in Game 1.
About 6 rows back on your left, Fabian.
Yeah, Dave, do you think there was any carryover offensively from last night, just how long that kind of dragged on for guys?
I don't know. I think that you got to give credit to Bieber for making pitches, getting ahead. Those guys had the same kind of went through the same thing as we did. I felt like we were prepared tonight. Guys came in fresh, and starting off with a play from Kike in left field, I thought we had some good kind of energy early, and then it just kind of petered out a little bit.
I know I asked this the other night, but do you feel like offensively as a whole this postseason you've been able to find a good enough rhythm, or do you think there's still more that you guys haven't been able to tap into there?
We haven't found our rhythm. We haven't. It sort of draws dead at certain parts of the lineup and different parts, different innings, different games. Guys are competing. Certainly in the postseason, you're seeing everyone's best. But yeah, my hope is we regroup tomorrow, gather the information that we had from Yusevich, and keep him in the hitting zone and understand what that split does, which is certainly helpful. And when we get the fastball, really get on it.
1 row closer, Dylan.
Dave, between the game last night, the 9 times getting on base, the heat today, how much do you think all that had an effect on Ohtani physically?
I don't know. Mark asked him in the 6th inning how much more he had. He said he had 3 more innings. So he's very, self-aware of his body. I thought the 6th inning was one of his best innings. And where he was at, the way the ball was coming out, I felt good. And just kind of happened right there where, Varsho gets a base hit. And then Clement hits a ball in the gap, and it just kind of happened right there where I just felt we needed to find a way to get a punch out, and trying to get Banda on three lefties. Obviously, they hit France right there at the top for Lucas, but yeah, he gave us a good effort. He really did.
Far back on your right, Bill.
Dave, you've talked off and on over the past couple of weeks about deciding, do you change the lineup, do you not change the lineup? As you balance patience versus now only 2 or 3 games left in your season no matter what, do you think it's time to maybe act on some of that?
I think so. I'm going to think long and hard, and it might look a little bit different tomorrow.
3rd row in the middle, Barry.
Hey, Doc, when we get used to, like, the last 2 games Ohtani played here where he was spectacular, is it kind of weird when he has a sort of a mortal night like tonight? He's good, but he's not outstanding the way he was the last couple of times.
He's mortal, but there's also a lot of energy, obviously, on the pitching exerted. But they made good pitches. There were some backdoor cutters, some breaking balls, crowding him a little bit. And I thought his intent tonight at the plate was good. But, you look back at those at-bats, they made good pitches on him. They really did.
Do you think it's unfair to put that much pressure on him to expect him to do those extraordinary things every night?
I don't. I know he doesn't see it as pressure. I would say that's what he expects from himself. It's part of, being a fan and seeing great things from great players. So, every time he steps up, I expect great things to happen, and maybe unfairly.
Do a couple last ones. Russ behind the camera there.
Doc, kind of the Bills question. You had to put Tommy in center field last night out of kind of necessity. Did you see enough to make you be comfortable with, the actions out there to potentially put him out there?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to make a decision. Essentially, am I going to, play Andy? Am I going to play Cole? Or am I going to play Miggy Rowe? So just kind of trying to think through all that stuff and net it out and see what, gives us the best chance tomorrow.
One last one for Doc, if there is one. All right, Doc, thanks so much.
All right, thanks, guys. Yep.
And from the Blue Jays, we're expecting John Schneider, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Shane Bieber. All right, we'll get started with John. It was the first question. We'll start with Jordan on your left, John.
Hey, John. For Bieber, after coming close to coming into that game last night, how did you sense he kind of tackled the preparation for today? Did it impact his routine, and how do you feel like he performed today?
No, it didn't impact him whatsoever. He came in focused. He came in like a veteran pitcher should, and I thought he settled into the game really well. After the run, the sac fly to Kike, I thought he kind of got a little bit better with his breaking stuff, and he made pitches, man. It was fun to watch him navigate that. I'm really happy for him for the last year and a half journey he's been on to go out there and do that. That was awesome.
And one row behind the last, John.
Hey, Schneider, what went into Bassett going out for the second inning? Was that a plan or a reaction to how well he had pitched in the inning prior?
Yeah, that was watching him pitch, and that was talking to Chris, who I can't speak highly enough about. Just getting to know him over the past 3 years, he understands where we are and understands what last night was for everybody. So I kind of liked him at that spot of the lineup too, with the sinker and breaking ball. And he wanted to finish it. It kind of just speaks volumes to him as a teammate, as a person. But I just kind of liked him. He was really confident with how he felt, and he made pitch after pitch.
The fourth row on your far right, Katie.
John, I believe when you acquired Shane, your quote was that he was a move that elevated your team's floor, but could also elevate your team's ceiling. Mm-hmm. Seeing what he's done over the last 2 months, what does Shane mean to your club?
For a guy that, got here at the deadline, to me, it seems like he fits in really well. And it's a really good compliment to the starters that we have here. And It's so nice to have a group, like that just kind of get it, It's not an easy thing to do, get traded from the only team you've been with, and then, just have your life kind of flipped upside down in a new country and things with a family. But he just settled in really well, and these are the spots that we acquired him for, and it's asking a lot of him based on what he's been through with the, recovery from the surgery and stuff. But he's enjoying it, and he's embracing it, and he's been a huge part of us getting here.
Safe to say he's also elevated your team's ceiling then.
I would think so, yeah. It's always nice to write Shane Bieber's name in the starting pitching category.
Go to the second row, John. Jeff.
Your team always forgets what happened the day before, and you put it in the past. I always wonder, inning to inning, in that sixth inning, Shane gave up a couple of hits and a hard one to center field. You brought in Mason. Mason shut them down, ending with a K. What's that like in the dugout? Because that seventh inning was huge. Was there a momentum that you all felt there?
Yeah, it seems like fifth or sixth inning there's a decision point, and when I went out to talk to Shane, I just said talk to me, how are you? What's your plan? And I think Shane deserved that. I think not just the time that he's been here, but him as a major league pitcher, he kind of deserved that. And then you bring in Flu, and you're kind of just trusting guys to navigate what spots they're accustomed to, and left on left with Muncy, and then he made great pitches to Edman, and Flu's been doing that all year against righties as well. So you realize that that's probably the biggest spot in the game, and you feel good, with Flu coming in there and just executing. He's a very, very focused individual, and he was ready to go.
Fifth row in the right middle, Mike.
John, when people talk about the story of this World Series, often it is Ohtani versus Guerrero, and today they got to match up against each other. What was the feeling in the dugout when Vladdy did that, and how much of a lift did it give you guys?
Yeah, I get that it's easy to write Ohtani versus Guerrero. To us, it's Toronto versus Los Angeles, but that swing was huge. You know what I mean? That a sweeper is a pitch designed to generate pop-ups, in my opinion, and the swing that Vlad put on it was elite. And after last night and kind of all the recognition that went into Shohei individually, and he's on the mound today, it's a huge swing from Vlad. It's a huge swing to get us going, and I think that gives you some momentum. And Shohei settled in, struck out quite a few in a row after that, but our at-bats there kind of it was a Blue Jay inning, you know what I mean? Varsh, Ernie, and then you kind of went to work. But the swing from Vlad was game changer.
And with Bo, you figure the more reps he gets, the more he's going to be able to get back to being himself. It looked like in that second to last at bat, the single off the wall, that looked like August Bo. Are you seeing the same thing?
Yeah, I'll never count Bo out against anybody with a bat in his hand at any point in the calendar year. Had a plan and then executed it. Got a good pitch to hit and hit it well. I think more importantly, I just think the games played for Bo. Again, man, this is now 3 games left. But the games played are helping him. But I think that he's been pretty locked in since the start of the series with the bat in his hands.
Did 2 more for John. Third row on your right, John.
Hey, John. Louis Varland's pitched in nearly every game this postseason. What can you say about his performance and just his being available nearly every day?
Louis been tremendous. He's kind of a different animal, you know what I mean? Where it's not normal to put a guy in as much as I have and have his stuff be consistent. He was one guy. I was talking to Ross at the deadline. He was one guy that I really wanted to acquire. You know what I mean? There's a lot of big arms out there, big available arms, and the combination of his stuff and just kind of knowing his personality a little bit from David Popkins in Minnesota, it was really intriguing to get him. But he's been nothing short of amazing. It's not easy to do what he's doing, pitching this much and high leverage. But I trust the hell out of him.
And we'll finish up far back on your right.
John, obviously the big win tonight. Just how good do you feel going into tomorrow with Trey on the mound?
Really good. I feel really good about this team every night. You know what I mean? It's hard to play 18 innings and come back and kind of flip the narrative against a very talented team and a very talented individual in Shohei Ohtani on the mound. I feel really good about just us, focusing on tomorrow's game. And Trey, I think, has been someone that's kind of come into our environment and he understands kind of how we go about it. So I don't want him to think, he has to do anything other than what we expect him to do. And it's going to take all 26 again tomorrow, but I feel really comfortable and confident with him on the mound, and tomorrow presents a new challenge against Blake Snell again.
All right, congrats on a great win, Schneider.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to get started with Shane Bieber. All right, we'll get started with tonight's winning pitcher. Congrats, Shane. Who is the first question? I'll start with Mike, 5 rows back on your right.
Hey, Shane. This was the sort of the same situation that you pitched in when you threw Game 3 of the ALCS and had that outing against Seattle, and it was a very similar outing as well. Give up one early and then sort of shut it down. Did it feel similar to you stuff-wise? Did you have that same conversation in the dugout, pick me up, guys, or?
No. A little bit different of a situation for whatever reason. I think, we all knew that we're going to have to fight for tonight, and, we were able to do that.
Putting aside all the everything, the reasons that you knew you were going to have to fight for tonight and how big the game was, did pitching in the World Series live up to what you thought it was going to?
Yeah, it was awesome. Very grateful for the opportunity to start for the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series, to even up the series. Now we just got to get 2 more, but the circumstances were something, that's for sure. Coming off of last night and, wanting to go deep into the ball game, I would have, if I looked at my outing objectively, I would have loved to give the team a couple more innings, but ultimately, it's the World Series, and a win's all that matters. So we'll deal with tomorrow.
Second row, your far right, Jeff.
With the first 2 innings, 38 pitches, 19 strikes, 19 balls, the walk to Ohtani, I don't know if that was unintentionally intentional or not, or what happened in the 3rd inning, because you certainly...
Yeah, I thought that 3-2 pitch was pretty close. I haven't looked at it, but was ready to attack him. Ready to challenge him, especially as the first batter of the inning.
Schneider said you found your breaking ball a little bit more. It looked like it was coming on after the 3rd. Was that the case?
Yeah, I didn't have my slider really at all tonight. Honestly, I thought the best one I threw was the last pitch I threw to Teo. I know he told Vladdy he was looking for it, and he got it and poked it up the middle and just had to reach it Izzy. And it's frustrating to leave the game that way, but to hand the ball off to Flew and then Chris Bassett and Louis Varland is an easier pill to swallow. And so ultimately all that matters is a win tonight.
Far back on your left, Shane. Jeff?
When you watch what Ohtani did last night, how does your kind of mindset to go and attack him, and what did you feel really worked to get him out?
Every game's different. Knew that coming into tonight, and I don't want to give in to anybody, and especially not Shohei or the Dodgers in the World Series. And so I think 1 through 9, not just him specifically, but they're a fantastic lineup 1 through 9, and they can all do damage. And so we tried our best to move the ball up, down, left, right, and throw all 5 pitches for strikes and just off the edge of the zone. And thought we were able to establish that after the first or second inning. I didn't think I did a great job of establishing in the zone early, and they weren't chasing out of the zone. I think that answers why, I was, 18 balls, 18 strikes, but was able to fall into a rhythm there after the second inning, and felt like I was, despite the, 50-50 balls to strikes in the first 2 innings, I felt like I was relatively in command of the zone, and I think that's that's what I wanted to do. That's what Kirky wanted to do. We had a great game plan coming in, and hats off to him. He called a great game. 1 through 9 tonight.
Up front of your right, Ron.
What was it like last night? Did Pete ask you to go warm up down there? Did you volunteer?
Yeah, sort of volunteered. Actually, credit to Max. Max is always one step ahead. He started last night, right? And then we find ourselves in like the 11th or 12th inning, and he was like, Biebs, if this gets squirrely, you could tell the wheels were turning. And he's like, can you pitch? And I was like, yeah, I can. And so went and told Schneider and Pete, and Pete was like, yeah, we might need you as a last resort. And I think I was probably very close to getting the ball. But ultimately, I choose to believe it's working out the way that it's supposed to work out, and was able to make the start tonight.
Oh, what was it like then? You get back to the hotel at what time? Did you have to like amp your?
Yeah, I was definitely amped up, right? Just you have to get yourself ready to pitch in the 19th inning of a World Series game, marathon, and potentially, I was thinking about my first big league save, and in the World Series that would have been very cool. But very happy with how things worked out.
So what time did you finally calm down and get to sleep, and what time did you wake up?
I don't know. I got back to the hotel around 1 a.m. Fell asleep there shortly after, maybe 1:45, 2.
What time did you get up?
Yeah, I didn't sleep very well.
We'll go to fourth row on your left, Jordan.
Shane, can you talk about your cutter a little bit? That's a pitch we've kind of seen come and go over the last few months, and you relied on it heavily tonight. So can you talk about that pitch?
Yeah, thought I used it really well tonight. I think that came in lieu of not having a great slider tonight and kind of yanking and opening up early, and they weren't chasing, and so had to rely on something else. I think that's the benefit of being able to command 5 pitches for the most part, and you figure out pretty quickly what's working, what's not, and obviously you continue throughout the game and in warm-ups in between innings to try and straighten out that slider and land it. And honestly, I was saying earlier, I thought the best one I threw was the last pitch I threw, and unfortunately wasn't able to get the out, but it was getting better and better as we went, but ultimately had to rely on the cutter, and thankful to be able to do that.
1 row behind the last one.
Shane, congratulations on the outing. What do the next couple days look like for you? And is there a possibility that, obviously not tomorrow, but maybe in a couple days, you could be an option for this team coming out of the bullpen?
Of course, yeah. It's the World Series. I think, that's not just me. I think that's the identity of this team. Everybody's ready to go, and we'll make ourselves available.
Sorry about that. And I know you guys are focused on tomorrow, but with the win today, you guarantee going back to Toronto. 30,000 people were watching in Toronto. What does that feel like to know you guys aren't done at Rogers Center yet?
30,000 at the Rogers Center?
Party.
Very cool. They deserve it. They deserve to end it on our terms, and in Toronto, I'm excited for that opportunity.
Go to the 4th row on your right, Katie.
Shane, when Toronto traded for you, they identified you as someone that could ideally be a season-changing acquisition. When you think about how the last 3 months have gone and now pitching a pivotal Game 4 in the World Series, what have you enjoyed the most about being a Toronto Blue Jay?
The identity of this team, the guys in that clubhouse, it's hard to describe other than it's an absolute pleasure each and every day. I think coming off of, what could be a back-breaking loss last night, it was an absolute pleasure to show up today and see guys nobody changes, nobody ever wavers, nobody ever hesitates. It's the same group of guys each and every day that continue to put the work in, continue to compete, continue to rely on each other, and it's an absolute pleasure to play for them.
Do a couple last ones. 3rd row on your left.
Maybe here. Hey, in the past, of course, you faced Shohei about 10 times, maybe 30 times or so, and it has been working well too. But you compare to the last time you faced him and today, how do you see the difference? I mean, he has a lot of changes, although. But
between last night and tonight?
Yeah, last time and tonight. Way attacking yeah.
Yeah, I think the game kind of unfolds and you see it for what it is and it dictates itself. I think I've found myself in positions to attack him, obviously with runners on and runners in scoring position, it might be a different story. We might have walked him, right? He's an incredible player, a great hitter, and I think what was most important and what I wanted to do was to put myself in situations to be able to attack him and to turn the lineup over and then get to another Hall of Famer in Mookie and Freddie, right? But that's just baseball, and you try and put yourself in advantageous situations to attack and get guys out, and I was able to do that tonight.
Stay there with Steve.
Congratulations, Shane. Quite a game. You mentioned the word, it could have been a back-breaking loss, and I'm sure you've had back-breaking losses in your career, professionally or amateur. What prevented it from being a back-breaking loss for this team? What do you guys say to yourself as professionals?
There's no choice. What are you going to feel sorry for yourself? It's the World Series, right? And we're down one game. And so now we find ourselves even with the chance to take the lead and take the lead back to Toronto after tomorrow. And so, yeah, there wasn't much to say. Guys are tired. We left it all out there last night. And, everybody's proud of each other. And it was a grueling game. But at the same time, you got to be able to turn the page. And we were able to do that and show up today with, an excitement to go win another World Series game. So that's where we found ourselves. So we really feel like we've got no choice, and we continue to grind and continue to play for each other. We'll find ourselves in a good spot.
One last question. All right, Shane, winning a World Series game in Southern
Thanks,
California.
y'all.
That's
Yep.
great. Vlad will probably be down between 5 and 10 minutes from now. For tomorrow, it sounds like we'll start in here at 1 o'clock with Freddie Freeman. So 1 o'clock will be the first item in here tomorrow. All right, Vladdy, congrats on the great win. Tito, thank you for being here. Who has the first question? We'll start with Steve in the third row in the middle, and then Alejandro. Or Alejandro, you can get us started.
Okay. Vladdy, buenas noches. Felicidades por el juego y haber empatado la serie para Sports Venezuela, acá a tu izquierda. ¿Y qué sentiste en ese momento al dar ese batazo y especialmente a alguien como Shohei Ohtani, que ha sido el centro de las noticias del juego de anoche?
Basically, what do you feel? Congratulations, and what do you feel? What was your emotion when you hit that homer against Ohtani tonight?
Bueno, obviamente me sentí muy contento, ¿sabes? Ya que le dimos la ventaja al equipo, ¿sabes? Obviamente me sentí muy contento de poner al equipo delante de los Dodgers.
Definitely, I felt very happy. I mean, especially in that moment when we took the lead. It was very important for me to hit that home run, and from that point on, we got going.
We'll stay there with Steve.
Vladdy, congratulations. We talked with you before the series began about facing Shohei. We all loved the idea of Guerrero and Ohtani. So when you finally faced him and you hit the home run, I know you have so much respect for him. You like him a lot. But what does that mean when you face a great pitcher, a great player, and you're able to succeed? Tell me what that meant in your heart to be able to have that moment.
Básicamente de corazón, ¿cómo te sientes, verdad? Se habló mucho del enfrentamiento entre tú y Ohtani, ha sido el ruido, ¿verdad?, de la serie, pero cuando tú te estás enfrentando a un lanzador de ese calibre, ¿cómo se siente eso y cómo se siente tener el éxito contra él como lo tuviste esta noche?
Bueno, para mí, obviamente me siento muy contento que tuvimos la victoria, ¿sabes? Lo respeto mucho y sé que siempre ha sido el centro de atención la competencia entre él y yo, pero para mí, ¿sabe? Siempre lo he respetado y obviamente cuando estamos en la línea, durante esa línea, ¿sabe? Cada quien empuja para su equipo y obviamente, gracias a Dios, pude conectarle ese batazo de irnos arriba.
I mean, like I said before, I respect Ohtani a lot. I mean, and I know basically myself and him, we are like the talk of the series. But when we are between those two lines, we compete. We're competing. I mean, it felt good that like tonight I could have hit that homer against him. But I mean, like I said before, it's a great athlete.
5 rows back in the middle.
Hi, Brady. The first at bat, like you got struck out by the sweeper, and the second at bat, like you hit the home run, his sweeper. Were you aiming like some specific pitch, or what was your approach to at the second at bat?
Básicamente, ¿verdad? Te mochó en el primer turno con la curva, entonces en el segundo turno, ¿estabas buscando un picheo específico o ese mismo lanzamiento con el que te mochó o no?
Bueno, yo estaba buscando un buen picheo para hacer daño, obviamente, y él me dio ese picheo y pude hacerle el daño.
No, I was just looking for the pitch to do damage, and I saw it right down, up on the sun, and then I could do the damage.
About 6 rows back on your left.
Vladdy, congratulations on the win. What's it been like to see Bo come back and contribute in such a big way after missing all that time?
¿Cómo se ha sentido, ¿verdad? Tener a Bo después de tanto tiempo, tenerlo para atrás en el equipo?
Bueno, se siente muy bien, ¿sabe? Obviamente, una de las personas que siempre he estado con él, ya tengo 10 años jugando con él y es una de las personas que siempre trata de dar lo mejor para el equipo y para mí tenerlo en el line-up es algo mucho, es algo que me siento feliz por él y algo que me siento feliz porque el equipo lo tiene en el line-up.
I mean, it's been 10 years myself playing with Bob and having him back in the lineup, not just for me, just for the entire team. It's a big lift. So I'm very happy that he's back.
Go to Jesus on your right, guys, 3rd row.
Vladi, considerando cómo perdieron ayer y tantas entradas que jugaron, ¿qué tan difícil era para dormir ayer? ¿Y cómo te sentiste cuando estabas queriendo dormir? Vladi, considering the 18 innings and losing that game, how difficult was it to fall asleep, and what time did you fall asleep yesterday?
Bueno, para mí yo caí como un bebé, ¿sabes? Yo quería dormir. Estaba cansado, yo quería dormir. Obviamente la derrota dolió, pero tiene que descansar para venirlo y hacer tu trabajo.
To be honest, I slept like a baby. We all know it was a long game. Yeah, it hurts when you lose a game like that, but I was so tired that I just went to sleep.
I don't know.
Go to Jesse, the row behind.
Oh, over here. Vlad, what are you most proud of regarding your offense during this month, during this playoffs? What are you most impressed with yourself on?
Lo más que te impresiona de ti mismo referente a tu ofensiva en esta postemporada.
Lo más que me impresiona es que estoy ayudando al equipo a ganar.
That I'm helping my team win some games. So that's what I'm impressed right now.
And 6 rows back on your right, guys.
Vladi, después de venir de un partido de 18 entradas, enfrentarte hoy a Shohei Ohtani, pegarle un jonrón cuando los Dodgers salían favoritos con él en el montículo y ustedes debajo en la serie, empatar esta serie a un jugador como Ohtani y los Dodgers de Los Ángeles, ¿qué significa para ti y qué deben hacer ustedes para manejar la presión de ahora en adelante?
Basically, after losing a game, 18 innings last night, and now down in the series now for tonight, not facing Shohei Ohtani tonight, what you and the team had to do to overcome that loss last night and to get it going the rest of the series?
Bueno, para mí no hay presión, ¿sabes? Obviamente somos la persona que un juego a la vez. La serie no se acaba hasta lo que cualquier de los dos equipos gane 4 juegos y un juego a la vez, turno tras turno y que pase lo que tenga que pasar.
I mean, like I always say, for me, it's one game at a time. I mean, the series isn't over. It's not over yet. I mean, this is the first one to win 4 games. So we just got to keep going, got to go out there and keep competing, and whoever wins, wins.
5th row in the middle, Julian.
Vlad, you guys winning today guarantees that you guys get to go back to Toronto. What does it mean? What would it mean to win there in front of your fans?
Con la victoria de hoy, pues sabes que está garantizado jugar en Toronto ahora. ¿Qué significaría para ti ganar allá en casa?
Bueno, para mí significaría bastante, pero para mí ganar, no importa dónde ganemos. Obviamente, siempre estamos enfocados en un juego a la vez y obviamente donde ganemos estaremos felices porque ganamos.
I mean, for me, it's important to win anywhere. I mean, if we win at home, of course, I mean, it would be special. But like I said, we're focused on one game at a time and to win one game at a time right now.
2nd row on the far right, Jeff.
Does it help you and your teammates that you've now seen all the Dodgers pitchers and everyone you'll see in the rest of the series?
¿Entiendes que te ayuda a ti y a tus compañeros que ya en lo que va de la serie ya pudieron ver a todos los pitchers y se van a volver a enfrentar a ellos?
Bueno, obviamente es normal, ¿sabes? Obviamente es normal. Eso en los playoffs pasa, ¿sabes? Tú te enfrentas a los pitchers abridores y a los pitchers relevo 2 y 3 veces. Obviamente no es no lo llamo que estamos conformes con eso, ¿sabes? Obviamente trabajar y tratar de ganar el juego. Nosotros no importa a quién nos enfrentemos, uno viene aquí a tratar de ganar el juego.
I mean, for us, it's just normal, regardless how many times we face the same pitchers. It just trying to go out there and win games, regardless who we face in that particular night. Like we don't think about that.
And Big Papi gave you a shirt. Addison didn't keep it. Did you keep it?
Big Papi te dio la camisa hoy. Barger no la quiso. ¿Tú la quisiste?
Sí, claro, obviamente yo la tengo. La tengo en mi locker y la voy a usar mañana.
I have it in my locker, and I'm going to use it tomorrow.
Fourth row on your right, guys.
Hey, Vladdy. It was so impressive how you guys were able to bounce back today. What do you feel the biggest difference is between this year's Blue Jays teams and past teams that weren't as successful in the playoffs?
Bien impresionante de la manera que el equipo pudo ganar este juego esta noche. ¿Cuáles son tus impresiones, las diferencias que tú entiendes que han habido del equipo de los Blue Jays de este año a otros equipos?
Bueno, yo creo que el equipo de los Blue Jays de este año es que hemos llegado a la Serie Mundial y estamos ganando.
Basically, the Blue Jays team for this year we're winning and we're in the World Series.
Do a few last ones far back on your left.
Vladi, felicidades acá. Felicidades por la victoria.
Gracias.
¿Cómo puedes darnos el valor que tiene Alejandro Kirk para tu equipo, para los Blue Jays en esta serie, en toda la postemporada y en estos años que lleva en el equipo?
Basically, talk to me about the value that brings Alejandro Kirk, not just for you, for the entire team this season.
Para mí, Kirk es uno de los mejores receptores que hay en Grandes Ligas, ¿sabe? Obviamente es una de las personas que siempre brinda la armonía y siempre brinda la alegría hacia tus compañeros. Y verlo de la manera que él está jugando a mí no me impresiona, quizá a los que están afuera lo impresiona, pero para mí lo conozco desde que filmó y sé que él tiene muy buen potencial para ser el mejor catcher en Grandes Ligas.
I mean, to tell you the truth, for me, I mean, what he's doing right now, it doesn't impress me at all. I mean, I've been seeing Kirk since he signed, and I always say he's one of the top catchers in the league. But what he brings to the table, not just for me, for the entire team, is a lot. He's always happy. I mean, going around making fun of people. But Kirk is one of the best.
The two last ones back right, guys.
Vladi, con Trey pichando mañana, ¿qué es la nivel de confianza que tienen en él? ¿Y qué tiene que ha sido tan impresionante con ustedes?
Trey pitching tomorrow, what's the level of confidence that the team has on him? And then what are you going to expect from him?
Bueno, para mí yo espero lo que él siempre ha hecho, ¿sabes? Salir a batallar contra quien sea que se le ponga en el frente, ¿sabes? Y es una de las personas que, a pesar que tiene 23 años, es una de las personas que sale a batallar y sale a dar todo por el equipo.
I mean, even though he's 23 years, I mean, like he's been doing right now, Trey is one of those guys that he goes up there and he give you all you have. And, I mean, that's what I expect from him tomorrow. I mean, not just me, my teammates, but, yeah, definitely I think he's going to have a great game tomorrow.
We'll finish up with Rowan in the back.
Vlad, obviously, it's been a special October for you, but when you guys lose George, is there any sort of added responsibility you kind of feel to be a spark for the offense?
Obviamente, perdiendo a George ahora, tú entiendes que las responsabilidades tuyas y del resto son mayores.
Bueno, para mí no es responsabilidad, ¿sabes? Yo juego para ganar, obviamente. Trato de ayudar al equipo a ganar. Obviamente cada uno de nosotros tiene que hacer su trabajo ahí en el terreno. Yo creo que no lo veo como una responsabilidad. Obviamente no está en el line-up, pero es uno de los que siempre está en el dugout apoyándonos.
I mean, I don't see it that way. I mean, I had to do my part. Everybody has to do their part. Plus George, even though he's not in the lineup, like tonight, he's in the dugout and supporting everyone, cheering for everyone. But no, I mean, the key here is everybody stay the same, keep doing what you're doing, and that's the way we're going to continue to play the series.
All right, Vlad, tremendous win for you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hector, thank you. And we'll get started here tomorrow at 1 o'clock with Freddie Freeman and Doc Roberts after that, and then the Blue Jays will follow.